everyone, and good morning, ma'am. This is our topic. It's about clustering. Introduction. Clustering. Why clustering? Several are working definition of clustering, method of clustering, application of clustering. Introduction. Clustering is an unsupervised machine learning technique designed to group unlabeled examples based on their similarity to each other. If the examples are labeled, this kind of grouping is called classification. Consider a hypothetical patient study designed to evaluate a new treatment protocol. During the study, patients report how many times per week they experience symptoms and the severity of the symptoms. Researchers can use clustering analysis to group patients with similar treatment response into clusters. Figure 1 demonstrates one possible grouping of simulate data into 3 clusters.
Clustering. Clustering is the process of making a group of abstract objects into classes of similar objects. Point to remember. A cluster of data objects can be treated as one group. While doing cluster analysis, we first partition the set of data into groups based on data similarity and then assign to the level to the group. The main advantage of clustering over classification is that it is adaptable to change and help single out useful feature the distinct different group. Ang gustong sabihin niya ay ang isang cluster ng mga data object ay maaaring ituring bilang isang grupo. Sa paggawa ng cluster analysis, unang hinahati ang set ng data sa mga grupong batay sa pagkakapareho ng datos at pagkatapos ay ina-assign ang mga label sa mga grupong ito. Ang pangunahing bentahin ng clustering kumpara sa classification ay ang kakayahang nitong umangkop sa mga pagbabago at matukoy ang mga kapakipakinabang na katangian na nagpapakilala sa bawat group.
So this is the example.
Why a clustering? High dimensionality. The clustering algorithm should not only be able to handle low dimensional data but also the high dimensional space. Kung baga, ang clustering algorithm ay dapat kayang magproseso hindi lamang ng mababang dimension ng datos, kundi pati ng matataas na dimension na ng espasyo. Ability to deal with noise data. Database contain noise, missing or erroneous data. Some algorithms are sensitive to such data and may lead to poor quality cluster. Pag ang gusto sabihin niya ay kakayahang humarap sa maingay na datos. Ability to deal with noise. Ang mga database ay naglalaman ng maingay, kulang o maling datos. Ang ilang algorithm ay sensitibo sa ganitong klase ng datos at maaring magresulta sa mababang kalidad ng mga cluster. Interpretability. The clustering result should be interpretable, comprehensible, and usable. Pag ang gusto kong sabihin niya, ang resulta ng clustering ay dapat madaling ipaliwanag or maunawaan or maintindihan.
Scalability. We need highly scalable clustering algorithm to deal with large database. Ability to deal with different kind of attributes algorithm should be capable to applied on any kind of data such as interval-based numerical data, categorical, binary data. Discover of cluster with attribute shape that clustering algorithm should be capable of detect cluster of arbitrary shape. It should not be bounded to only distance measure that tend to find spherical cluster of small size. Types of clustering. Clustering can be divided into different categories based on different criteria. Number 1, hard clustering. A given data point in dimensional space only belongs to cluster. This is also known as exclusive clustering. The k-means clustering mechanism is an example of hard clustering. Number 2, soft clustering. A given data point can belong to more than one cluster in soft clustering. This is also known as overlapping clustering. The fuzzy k-means algorithm is good example of soft clustering. Number 3, hierarchical clustering. In hierarchical clustering, a hierarchy of cluster is built using the top-down, divisive, or bottom-up agglomerative approach. The fourth one is flat clustering. It is a simple technique where no hierarchy is present. Number 5, model-based clustering. In model-based clustering, data is modeled using a standard statistical model to work with different distribution. The idea is to find a model that best fit the data. Application of cluster analysis. So cluster analysis finds group in database on similarity, finding application across many fields. So cluster analysis is broadly used in many applications such as marketing research, pattern recognition, data analysis, and image processing. Clustering can also help marketing discover distinct group and their customer base, and they can characterize their customer group based on purchasing patterns. In the field of biology, it can be used to define plant and animals, taxonomies, categorize genes with similar functionalities, and gain insight in structures inherent in population. Clustering also helps in identification across areas of similar land use in Earth observation database. It also helps in identification of group of houses in a city according to house type, value, and geographic location. Clustering also helps in classifying documents on the web for information discovery. Clustering is also used in outlier detection applications such as detection of credit card fraud. As a data mining function, cluster analysis serves as a tool to gain insight into the distribution of data to observe characteristics of each cluster. Requirements of clustering and data mining. Clustering algorithm and data mining require certain capabilities to be effective. They need to be scalable, handle various data types, discover cluster of arbitrary shapes, and be robust to noisy data. Additionally, clustering results should be interpretable and usable for practical application. The following points throw light on why clustering is required in data mining. Scalability. We need highly scalable clustering algorithm to deal with a large database. Ability to deal with different kinds of attributes algorithms should be capable to be applied on any kind of data such as interval-based numerical data, categorical, and binary data. The discovery of cluster with attribute shape. The clustering algorithm should be capable of detecting clusters of arbitrary shape They should not be bounded to only distance measure that tend to find spherical cluster of small sizes. High dimensionality. The clustering algorithm should not only be able to handle low-dimensional data but also the high-dimensional space. Ability to deal with noisy data. Database contain noisy, missing, or erroneous data. Some algorithms are sensitive to such a data and may lead to poor quality cluster. Interpretability. The clustering result should be interpretable, comprehensible, and usable. Clustering methods. Clustering method can be classified into the following categories: partitioning method, hierarchical method, density-based method, grid-based method, model-based method, constraint-based method. Partitioning method. Partitioning is a method of dividing a database into smaller, more manageable segments or partitions. Also, this technique is widely used in various fields. Partitioning method. Suppose we are given a data of n object and the partitioning method construct k partitioning of the data. Each partition will represent a cluster and k greater than or equal n. It means that it will classify the data into k groups which satisfy the following requirements. Each group contains at least one object. Each object must belong to exactly one group. Points to remember. For a given number of partitioning, say k, the partitioning method will create an initial partitioning. Then it uses the iterative relocation technique to improve the partitioning by moving objects from one group to another.
Hierarchical methods. These methods creates a hierarchical decomposition of the given set of data objects. We can classify hierarchical methods on the basis of the hierarchical decomposition is formed. Ang hierarchical methods ay mga pamamaraan sa paggrupo ng mga datos na gumagamit ng isang tree-like structure para ipakita ang relasyon ng mga grupo. Ibig sabihin, may mga subgroup sa loob ng mas malalaking grupo at ang mga subgroups na ito ay mayroon ding sariling mga subgroups. There are two approaches here: agglomerative approach and divisive approach. Agglomerative approach. This approach is also known as the bottom-up approach. In this, we start with each object, forming a separate group. It keeps on merging the objects or groups that are close to one another. It keeps on doing so until all of the groups are merged into one or until the termination condition holds. This is the bottom-up approach in clustering. It starts by treating each object as its own group, then gradually merge the closest groups until there's only one group or a stopping condition is met. The divisive approach. The divisive approach starts with all objects in one cluster and splits them into smaller clusters step by step. Splitting continues until each object is separate or a stopping condition is met. Once a split is made, it can be undone. Density-based method. This method is based on the notion of density. The basic idea is to continue growing the given cluster as long as the density in the neighborhood exceeds some threshold. For each data point within a given cluster, the radius of a given cluster has to contain at least a minimum number of points. So, dito naman sa density-based method, ang ideya ay bumuo ng cluster base sa dami ng mga puntos sa paligid. Patuloy lang itong palalakihin hanggat sapat ang density o dami ng data points sa loob ng isang radius. Halimbawa, kung sa loob ng isang bilog ay may sapat na bilang ng puntos, magiging bahagi ito ng cluster. Kapag may nipis na ang puntos sa paligid, doon na ito titigil. In this, the objects together form a grid. The object space is quantized into finite number of cells that form a grid structure. So, dito naman sa grid-based method, ang buong data space ay hinahati sa maliliit na kahon o cells na parang grid. Ang mga bagay o data points ay inaayos base sa kung aling cells sila napunta. Halimbawa, parang hinati mo ang mapa sa mga kahon at tiningnan kung saan maraming tao para doon gumawa ng grupo. The major advantage of this method is fast processing time. It is dependent only on the number of cells in each dimensions in quantized space. Ang pangunahing advantage ng grid-based method ay ang bilis nitong processing time. Nakadepende lang ito sa bilang ng cells sa bawat dimension ng grid at hindi sa kabuuang dami ng data points. Model-based methods. In this method, a model is hypothesized for each cluster to find the best fit of data for a given model. This method locates the clusters by clustering the density function. It reflects spatial distribution of the data points. This method also provides a way to automatically determine the number of clusters based on standard statistics. Taking outlier or noise into account, it therefore yields robust clustering methods. So, dito naman sa model-based method, gumagawa ng model para sa bawat cluster at sinusubukang i-fit ang database sa model na yun. Ginagamit nito ang statistics para automatically malaman kung ilan dapat ang clusters. Kasama na rin ang pag-consider sa noise o outliers. Dahil dito, mas matatag at accurate ang clustering na nakukuha. So, constraint-based method. In this method, the clustering is performed by the incorporation of user or application-oriented constraints. A constraint refers to the user expectation or the properties of desired clustering result. Constraints provide us with an interactive way of communication with the clustering process. Constraints can be specified by the users or the application requirement. So, sa method na ito, ang clustering ay isinasagawa sa pamamagitan ng pag-incorporate ng mga constraints na nakabase sa user or application. Ang mga constraints na ito ay kumakatawan sa mga inaasahan o katangian na nais sa resulta ng clustering. Kaya magbibigay ng interactive na paraan ng komunikasyon sa proseso ng clustering. Ang mga constraints ay maaaring itakda ng user o batay sa pangangailangan ng application.